There we go. We're good now. All right. What's going on, guys? My name is Bob. I want to welcome you guys to the Power of Fitness podcast. Today's the first time joining us. We want to say welcome. Today we're doing something different. We got our first guest on. And like I said in the previous episodes, his name is Darnell Hinton, and he is the owner, operator of a charity foundation called Teach One, Feed One. So today we're going to talk about his story. Brian, why don't you give us a little background on what we're going to talk about?
All right, guys, so episode 9 coming at you. Teach One, Feed One. So Teach One, Feed One is a nonprofit charitable organization that oriented in the Kensington section of Philadelphia. The mission of this charity is to change the world one Sunday at a time. They set out to help those who suffer from addiction. They are on a mission to help eliminate the stigma attached with addiction and challenging the way this disease is approached. Today we have the owner, Darnell, with us to tell us his story. So it should be a good one.
Awesome. So first of all, I just wanted to say thank you guys for having me here. Thanks, Bobby, for letting me come on.
It's a pleasure to have you on here, man.
Absolutely. So, Teach One, Feed One, like he said, is a nonprofit organization. And what we do is we help people suffering from the disease of addiction or alcoholism maintain sustained sobriety. Our mission is everything that we do. We believe in eliminating the stigma attached with addiction. We believe in bold actions and innovative thinking. And we work endlessly to humanize those suffering from the disease of addiction. And essentially, remove the stigma attached with addiction and, eliminate or decrease the number of families that will experience the horrors mine and millions of other families have. Addiction is something that has affected me personally. It's something that has affected and still does affect my brother personally. And with that being said, it's affected my entire family. So it's something that's really close to my heart. And when we started the operation in June, it was something and it's still something that I'm really passionate about. And we've had a lot of success. And it's just been, really humbling to be able to help other people.
Yeah, it's awesome. Guys, like we talk about a lot on our previous podcast, we all go through a lot of different struggles, and it's the way we get through them and how we do it and who we bring with us that's going to make us better in the long run. That's why we got Darnell on here today. He went through a dark history in his own, and now he's using his own, his own experiences to help others become better. So Darnell, you said you started your podcast, your night podcast, man. I can't talk today. You said you started your foundation in June. So you've been going 6-8 months now.
Correct.
How's it feel to grow and keep helping people out?
It feels awesome. Man. When we first started, we just started out handing. Actually, to be honest with you, it just started out as an idea. So I was sitting in group, and my counselor he asked everyone what they were going to do this weekend. And when he got to me, I said, I'm going to go to Kensington and I'm going to feed the homeless. And everyone kind of looked at me with like this kind of,
like you're crazy. Like
I was crazy.
Yeah, they're like,
kind of look on my face. And some people looked at me like, yeah, that's really admirable. Like that's really kind of you. And that idea that was something that I was going back and forth in my mind about for, I want to say months, even like years at that point. Like, hey, this is something I really want to do. I was just never in a position to be able to do it. And I was kind of, afraid what people might think and afraid in my own self, like that I might fail or might not be able to do exactly what I wanted to do or the way I wanted to do it. So I kind of just said, listen,
should try it out first.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
go from there.
I'm just gonna go for it.
You know how many people say they want to do stuff like that and they don't? And
exactly.
A lot of people try and piggyback on other people doing that, and just
100%.
to do that for yourself, it's awesome. It's amazing, because I'm sure when you were going through a little bit of your dark times back in the day, you probably wish some people helped you out too, and you didn't.
Of course.
So
what was the biggest aspect? Like, what finally gave you the kick in the ass to do it?
Like I said, I finally was just like, I was sitting in group, and he went around. It literally happened just like this. He went around. He asked everyone what they were going to do this weekend. Like, are you going to go to the mall? Are you going to go? Like, what are you going to do? And I just said, I'm going to go to Kensington and I'm going to feed the homeless.
And at that point, it just became.
Yeah.
At that point, it just
word,
became.
and it had to happen.
I said it, and then I actually put a post on Instagram, and I said, I'm looking for 1 or 2 people to come to Kensington with me and help me feed the homeless. That was the first week we did it.
People were like, "What's this guy doing?"
Yeah, and then at that point, like I said, I got rid of my fear to, about what other people might think. Oh, who's this guy think he is? He thinks he's some big shot trying to go feed the homeless. He's trying to like appear a certain way on Instagram and look like he's this nice guy on it. Like, I stopped the fear of that, and I stopped, my own fears of trying to do something and it not coming out the way that I wanted it to come out. Or I got rid of all that, and I just said, listen, I'm just going to go for it. And I'm just going to trust that it's all going to work out. And then from there, went from an idea of going and handing out pizzas to people in Kensington to, today turning into a business. And, it all just came through consistency and people contributing and people believing in our mission and people contributing that really came together and, made everything possible for us.
Yeah. So now, you were talking about you were in your own experience with this. So what actually happened in your life that made you want to do this?
So when I was in college, I actually got addicted to oxycodone, which is the technical terminology for Percocet. So when people have a back injury, when people have, a leg injury, or they experience any kind of pain, a doctor will usually prescribe them some form of Percocet or some form of painkiller. When you don't take those, when you don't have an injury and you don't take those, it gives you somewhat of a euphoric feeling. Some people like it, some people don't like it. It's not for everybody, but the way my body reacted to it was, it made me feel good. It took away my inhibitions. It took away my feelings. It made me like not think about things that were going on in my life.
You felt more relaxed and
stress-free. And I didn't have to I felt like I didn't have to think about things on my feet. I didn't like to deal with my feelings. So
it kind of hid everything from.
It suppresses your feelings kind of in a way, and it makes you okay with doing things that you're not usually okay with doing. So I like that in a way, and that process went on since started when I was about, I want to say 19, 20, and that process went on for like the next 7 or 8 years, and in and out of 9 or 10 rehabilitation facilities. So
your own experience wants you to kind of help people not do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what made you real?
Yeah, what after the last time that you were in and out of the rehab centers, what finally made that turnaround?
So for me, there was a couple things. I had enough. I had experienced enough pain in my life where, I said, listen, I really want to make a change. And, it really all comes down to you. Like, if the individual isn't ready to change, then they're not going to change. So you just have to want it, to be honest with you. You just have to want to do better for yourself, and you just have to want to change. And I did. I wanted better for myself, and I wanted, I knew I had more to offer than, being in and out of treatment facilities for,
Now, was there anyone that had a positive impact on trying to get you back on track, trying to get you where you are?
What you're doing? Did you have anyone that's doing what you did to people that helped you, or was it just kind of like you?
No, I don't want to say it was just me, but there was...
Like your family helped you?
Yeah.
But any outsiders?
No, not necessarily any outsiders, but, I get my... I got a lot of... motivation or, encouragement and things of that nature from family and close friends and, other people that have no idea that they affected me, just watching them from afar and just saying like, wow, man, that's really inspirational, or wow, that's really powerful what you're doing. And, they have no idea that they touched me in a way that, inspired me to do things that they have no idea about right now.
Now, when you went to change, become better, what was like your first step that you did? What was one of the first things that you remember helping you get through it, to making you realize, like you said, I'm much more than this. I need to be better. So how do you go about changing that? Because I know it could be very difficult to change your mindset there.
Yeah. So do you mean like once I got out of treatment, or?
So when you were, what made you want to go to treatment? What made you realize, like, because I know you're not
To
just going
bring
to
about that whole
well,
change.
you're not just going to wake up one day,
Yeah.
or did you just wake up like, you know what, my family's not doing good, I need to change.
Mhm.
So like, what was there a moment that happened to you, something that made you realize, you know, like, it's just going to keep getting worse from here, I need to be better?
So yeah, to be honest with you, you know, genuinely, each time I went to treatment, so I've been to treatment 9 times. Each time I went, when I got out, I genuinely tried to stay clean. Like I genuinely gave it, you know, a real effort to stay sober. And you know, life just happens, and relapse is a part of sobriety. Like anyone in sobriety will tell you, like relapse is a part of it. Very few people go to rehab one time, they get out and they stay clean for the rest of their lives. Some people do. It's very far and few that happens. So I tried to stay clean. You know, there's other 8 times, but life came about. You know, stress, jobs. You know, that leads to stress. Money, that leads to stress. Being in the wrong situation with the wrong people. Not staying consistent with things that you're supposed to do in sobriety. All those things are like a culmination that, you know, lead you to eventually relapse. This most recent time, I had began doing things and, you know, being in places and doing things that, you know, I had said I would never do in my life. Like I would essentially, you know, look at, not judge, but, you know, look at people and say kind of, wow, like he's doing this, I'll never do that. And this person's doing this, I can't justifying it. Like, I know I'm bad, but at least I'm not doing what this guy's doing. And all those things that I said I would never do, I started checking off on my checklist. And it really took me, you know, to look in the mirror at myself and say, wow, like, look at what you've become. Like, I couldn't imagine this when I was 12, 15 years old. You know, as a kid, like I said, I would never be that person. Now I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, you are that person. So you need to do something about it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a slap in your own face reality check. Like, I need to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it all comes back to the whole stress situation. Like what we went through, dealing with losing a parent and everything like that, not knowing what people would say and everything like that, comes down to stress.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has it, and that was one of our podcasts, was how to deal with stress in a proper way.
Yeah, some people deal with it one way, some people deal with the other. So, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that relate to your story that are going to hear something like this and see what you're doing now, and they'll be like, man, I could be like that.
Right.
That's why I love what you're doing, because I had family members that have been in your situation as well, and they didn't get out. They're still in there, or they might not be alive now, and, you know, you don't want to end up like that. So to see the change in yourself and to help other people, man, is awesome.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to see for once, because, I mean, people know my line of work from the last podcast and everything like that. I deal with the addiction and everything out on the streets of Philadelphia all the time. And, I mean, I'd rather see someone helping them than having to put cuffs and shit on them and taking them away.
Mm. Yeah, so it's been nice to really, to be in a position to help people and be able to relate to people and let them know that, you know, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to make you feel any type of way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here to help you. I've been where you are. I've been where you've been personally. So there's nothing that you can say to me that's, you know, that's going to make me look at you. Because people kind of hear the word, you know, addict or alcoholic, and they kind of,
Sweep
it's
it
not
under the rug.
Not really sweep it under the rug, but there's kind of like there's a stigma attached to it. So it's like a bad thing. People hear the word alcoholic or an addict and they think of a 40-year-old man with no teeth, brown paper bag sitting outside of a bar, and that's just not the image today. People that are going through this, that are suffering from this, they look like you, they look like you, they look like me. They're young.
Any age.
They're young men, they're young women, they're people that are in high school, they're people that are in college, they're people that are, you know, black, white, you know, Spanish. They're people of all races and all colors, and this is something that's affecting everyone right now. And people, a lot of people in, you know, the world really, it's something that the world really doesn't have an answer on how to deal with. Like, there's no solid answer on this is what you need to do to fix this. And it's affecting everyone. It's not immune to anyone. There's lawyers, doctors, senators' daughters, and, you know, that's why it's gaining the attention that it's gaining today, because
Now let
it's
me ask
affecting
you
everyone.
this. Now, there's a bunch of people out there that says addiction is not a disease and everything like that. No one forced you to put the needle in your arm or the pill in your mouth and stuff like that. When someone says that to you, what kind of response do you have for them?
I say it's tough to for someone to, I guess, understand what it's like to go through that until you go through it yourself. Even if you have someone that's close to you that's going through it, you might have an idea, but you still never have gone through it yourself. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to claim to be a scientist or a doctor. I'm not that smart, quite honestly. But all I can say is I've been to treatment, a good amount of times. So I've been around a lot of people who are suffering the same way I'm suffering from. I've never met these people a day in my lives, and their stories sound the exact same as my stories sound. I ask them how they feel when they use drugs. They say the same thing. I ask them how they feel, leading up to doing drugs, or how their life was leading up, and everything sounds similar. All I know is, for me, when I put drugs into my system, they tell you that it's an allergy of the body and the mind. So you have an allergic reaction to when you put drugs in your system. So my body reacts differently than someone who is not an addict or who is not an alcoholic does when they put drugs into their system. So there's an allergic reaction which essentially goes off in your body, and your body just wants or needs more of it.
So it craves it.
It craves it. There's a phenomenon of craving that someone who's not an addict or an alcoholic would not experience. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist, but I fully believe, me personally, I fully believe that it is a disease. Now, it's a choice to put drugs into your body in the first place. That's a choice to ultimately say. No one forced me to say, "Hey, I'm going to try Percocets."
Yeah.
That was a choice of mine. However, once I did put it in my system, I didn't ask
for more.
I didn't.
Your body just kind of it was like sugar. You need more.
Exactly. I didn't ask to have this disease where I put something in my body and then somehow my body reacts differently than yours does, and I need it and you don't. I didn't ask for that. I just tried it like any other innocent kid, and it didn't start with that. It started with, like any other person, the red Solo cup and a blunt, and eventually that led to other things, and my body reacted differently from it. So once you begin, that's a choice. I chose to pick up weed. I chose to start drinking. I chose to try other drugs, but I didn't choose to become an addict. That kind of just happened.
It's already hardwired in.
And some people say
it's something that you don't know that you have until it actually happens.
Well, some people say you're genetically disposed to it too. So why is it that some people? Why is it just coincidence that people who are addicts or alcoholics also have? There's also a good chance of that being, their parents were addicts or alcoholics, or their grandfathers were addicts, or their brother. Like my brother suffers from the same thing. My mom's father suffers from the same thing. Is that just coincidence,
or is that
just
in your genes or something like that?
Exactly.
It's like all other diseases. So what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that you're helping people out, what's your favorite part about helping them out?
So my favorite part about helping people out, man, is to just give people hope and let people know, show them something in themselves, show them something that they can't see in themselves. So listen, I know where you're at. I see that you're struggling, but, I see more in you, and you have a lot more to live for, and you have a lot more to offer to this world than what you're giving to this world right now. You sitting outside, laying on this brown box, with this blanket that, you found in a trash can. This is not what you were destined to do. You have a lot more to offer than what you're giving the world right now.
It's like they feel like they're on the bottom.
Exactly.
You're trying to give them hope.
Exactly.
And then once they realize you are going to keep helping them, probably feels amazing.
Yeah. And my second favorite part of doing this, I guess, is just to show people that, it's possible. What I'm doing and what our organization is doing is a living testament that, listen, if I can do it, you can do it. If you don't think you can get clean, I promise you, you can get clean. I was where you were. and I'm doing something a lot. I'm doing something where I was a year ago is not where I'm at now. So like all this happened in less than a year. Like you can do it too.
Yeah, it's like you relate because when you were going through it, you felt like you were at the bottom of it.
Yeah,
And
there's no magic recipe. There's no secret potion. Like there is no like, magic juju juice that I drank and then just decided that this just came about. Like no, you can do the exact same thing.
Yeah, and I think what's cool is because I'm sure like when you were going through it, you felt like you didn't have a lot of support. So for you to be there helping people to show that they have support, it might kickstart them to change earlier.
Yeah.
So has anyone come up to you and said what you've been doing actually changed their aspect, changed their life?
What do you mean?
Like when you're down in Kensington and everything, and you're handing out the food or trying to get people into shelters and stuff like that, has any of them come back to you guys and said, "Thank you for what you've done for me"?
All the time.
And
all the time we get that.
About change for them.
All the time, I get that those type of compliments all the time, and people compliment people from our organization. I have a whole section on my Instagram page, on my Facebook page, and on my website. It's under testimonials of people who have people that I've never even met before that have just like messaged me and said like, listen, I don't know you, but I came about your page from someone that we're mutual friends with. I just want to let you know that my dad's an alcoholic or my dad's an addict, and what you're doing is admirable and it's honorable, and I just wish that someone was there for my father like you are for these people, because he could have really used that. Or people reach out and they say, hey, I'm an addict myself, and this is the best compliment I can get, is when people reach out to me and they say, hey, I don't know you, but I'm an addict myself, and for the longest time I've been so afraid to be honest with my past and let people know that I am an addict and I do suffer from this. But after seeing your page, you inspired me so much just to share with the world that this is me. I'm not ashamed of it anymore. This is a disease. And your page really inspired me to just come out and say, this is me, and I'm not going to be afraid to share it with people and just, live my life in fear of judgment from other people, or that they're going to, judge that I am an addict. Or when people say, hey, I've read your story. I don't know you, but I seen your story on Instagram. I came about it, and because of your story, you inspired me. Like I've been so afraid to, start my business, and I've been so afraid that I'm going to fail and do what I really want to do, what I'm really set out to do. But after reading your story and how you came from nothing, I'm putting all that to the side, and I decided I'm going to start my own business. Like when I hear that kind of stuff,
it's awesome.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Hey, it's because it's the beginning, so you're just helping people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like hearing people come up to you and say you're helping change their life, and you don't even know.
Exactly.
There's nothing better than that, because
it's like an uplifting effect.
Yeah, like your whole goal is to make a difference and help change, and that's what you're doing.
And it's not just, when I say like me, I don't mean me, I mean like us, like
the whole network,
the whole organization, and that includes people who have donated. That includes people who like have just have left a comment on our Instagram page or liked a picture. Like everyone is incorporated in that. Like if you made a donation, if you've done anything to help us, reach our mission, then you're included in everything that I just said.
So how many people do you have in the core of the company?
I'd say about I want to say like 8 to 10. So we have me, we have our secretary, we have our vice president, we have our treasurer, we have our head of business affairs. So there's like 8 to 10 people.
Yeah. So when you first started, did you ever plan on having other people in that business with you? Or it was just like, I'm going to do this, post on Instagram and see what I got. And now you're like, you know what? Like this is legit. We can help people.
So like I said, it just started as I just wanted to help people. Like that's genuinely what I wanted to do. Right. I know some people seen it and they were like, oh, he's just trying to like look like a good person for Instagram. Like, nah, man, I never... Any attention or any like notoriety or any like, hey, look at me stuff that like you see on like social media, I didn't ask for any of that. Like I didn't ask for like anyone who knows, who was with me from the beginning, knows that I just genuinely wanted to help people. That's it. I just wanted to show people that this was possible. It wasn't until someone came to me and said, hey, you need to start thinking of this as like a business, and you need to start thinking of this as like a nonprofit organization. That wasn't until that moment until I said like, all right, let's get this formally structured and do something with it.
That's how you know you're doing great, because there's so many like when I first saw Teach One Feed One, I didn't know it was you.
Mhm.
I thought it was one of these other charities on Instagram that's just trying to make a name for themselves, doesn't really care.
Yeah.
And as soon as I knew it was you, I was like, I know this dude's legit. I started talking to you about it more. I started seeing what you're doing more, and you are, man. You're doing great things, and like
Thank
you
you.
said, you're not just doing it for that.
No.
You don't care about who tells you this.
You
and
don't,
that.
you don't care about the
yeah.
popularity and stuff
No.
like that. It's actually you're actually on a mission that you want to do.
Mhm.
You want to be out there helping people and changing someone's future.
Right.
You know, I have a couple of my family members that dealt with addiction. And I'm sure, like, if they had someone like you in it, they'd be in a way different situation than they are now. And just to know that you're out there helping people that are like that, it's awesome. Because, you know, I'm actually trying to help you out more too now, just because seeing what you're doing, and it's awesome, man. Because now I'm going through life and I'm not thinking just me. I'm thinking about all my actions, how they're going to affect other people.
Exactly.
And I never used to think like that. I wasn't the type of person I was going to be an asshole and go out there and try and make my name off someone else. But, you know, sometimes you do things and you're like, well, it might hurt them, who cares? Now it's like, I make sure I watch what I do because I don't want to hurt someone else, even though it's not related to that. But in general, in our society, so I'm trying to make every action I do have a positive reaction on everyone else around
And
me.
a lot of people don't think that way anymore either. They think, yay for me with everyone else.
And you just saying that, so you saying, you know, I'm glad you started doing this because I have family who have that right there is like one of the main reasons why I do this, and one of the best compliments I can get as well is because people, like I said, there's a stigma attached with it, and people don't want to come out and say, like, people are ashamed to come out and say, like, hey, my mom's an addict, or hey, my mom's an alcoholic, or hey, I have family, my brother's an alcoholic. But for you to see what we're doing and say, like, listen, that's pretty cool what he's trying to do, and that's pretty cool that he's trying to get rid of the stigma attached with addiction, and you saying that is the only way that the problem is going to get better, is because you're coming out and you're saying it, and if you don't talk about it, then no one's going to reach out and help you. So
I agree.
And on top of that, I mean,
that's
how many
awesome
people out there do you
can
think
come out and say that.
don't come out and ask for help?
They don't. No one wants to come out and ask for help because it's embarrassing. You know, and I'm doing my best to, you know, get rid of that, but it's embarrassing to come out and say, like, hey, you know, I have a problem, you know, I need help. And people, you know, it's people who are prideful, like, you know, men, it hurts your pride to come out and say, like, hey, I need help, and I'm struggling, and this is bigger than me. I'm not strong enough to take this on by myself. And no one is strong enough to take it on by themselves. But, you know, you just saying that is what I hope a lot of people can
It's because, like we talked about in our last episode, Brian, like when my dad was sick, I didn't want to tell anyone about it because I was shameful, because I thought people would judge his sickness being on me. And like now seeing what you're doing and seeing, like, you know, you gotta come out and you gotta talk about it, and that's the only way to beat it.
Mm-hmm.
And I relate there too, because so many people, they don't talk about their problems, they don't talk about their addictions or their little things because they feel like people are gonna judge them.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get over that fear of being judged and you attack that problem head on, that's the only way to get through it.
Yeah, you fear
that's what
that
you're
people
doing.
are judging you for your past. You fear that people are out there judging you for your parents' past and everything like that. But that's not the situation.
Yeah, until
And
you get
if
to
more
the
people
point.
come out,
Right. I didn't mean to cut you off. Until you get to
You're
the
good.
point where this is, you know, socially acceptable. Like, hey, you know, you're comfortable with telling, you know, the next person, like, yeah, man, my mom suffers from addiction. You know, until it gets to the point where it's socially acceptable to have those conversations with people.
It's hard, man.
It's not going to get.
Yeah, like
you
you
know,
said, no
one
one wants to put their pride on the line, but
sometimes you got to.
sometimes you have to, and that's like that's how you get through it. Like we always say, like it's a wall. If you keep beating it, it's not going to go nowhere.
It's not like, you know, back in the day when our parents were younger, it was, like I said, the image of an addict or alcoholic has completely shifted. It's not the old guy with no teeth standing outside of a bar with a brown paper. That's not the image anymore. It's people who are young, 16, 18, 19, 20 years. These are young kids that are suffering from this, and these are people who need help, and they're young, and they're, you know, like I said, they're white kids, black kids, Spanish kids. It's everybody, and
It
not.
doesn't just affect one race. It goes.
It doesn't just
throughout
affect
the whole world.
Yeah, it goes throughout the whole world, and it's young people.
I like the fact that you're helping people out, no matter what they are, age, anything, because in today's society, people they just on one side or the other. It's like we're all one,
Right?
and for you to be helping everybody and trying to get them over what you went through, it's huge, man.
I'm a huge advocate of that.
It is
huge
So,
advocate of that.
You said, like, when you first dealt with it, it was kind of like a stress. You let the stress go, so you did the drugs. So now that you're not doing them, what do you use for stress to help you keep afloat?
So, fitness is definitely a huge aspect. I use that as among many other things. I wake up, the first thing I do, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes, I don't do it until like I remember halfway through the day. But I try and wake up and I take 5 minutes to just pray. I'm not a really religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. So I just, want to thank whatever is upstairs. Whatever it is, I believe that there is something greater than myself. I just want to thank them for, me being here and my health, and let them know that I'm appreciative for things that I have in my life today, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I think that's awesome to do.
It kind of grounds me and keeps me
when
grounded.
I first started with First Form, one thing Andy Frizzell says is exactly what you just said. He would take 5 minutes out of every single day just to remind himself what he's grateful for and what he has, what he's been through, what he has going forward. And like you said, it grounds you and it makes you realize like how thankful you have to be, because some people aren't in that situation.
So I try and say 5 things. So I'll say a little prayer, and then I'll try and say 5 things that I'm grateful for. So it might be something small like I'm grateful that I get to sleep in a bed tonight, because I don't know if you guys have never been to rehab, but those beds suck.
It's a little cot.
Those beds suck, man.
I've never been in one, but I'm
grateful that I get to have a hot meal, or it might be something like, usually it's something like, I'm grateful that I'm in a position to be able to help other people today. I'm grateful that I have my health. I'm grateful that I have family that were able to guide me and put me in a position that I'm in today. So I try and do that. Fitness is another huge one. So fitness is my way to kind of just get away for 5 minutes. Sometimes, to be completely honest, when I go to the gym, I get a million text messages like when I'm at the gym. I wish I could just put my phone on airplane mode, to be completely
Well, they're
honest.
good text messages. We talk about this all the time. Put your phone down when you're working out.
Yeah.
But it's different, guys. When you're actually getting text messages that's going to help people out, that's perfectly fine, man. That's cool,
So
so it's good text messages. So
it's hard sometimes.
Well, I remember when we worked out together, you were on your phone.
Yeah.
And you're like, my bad. I'm like, dude, you're good, man. Like, it's not like you're over there doing the ab machine for 2 hours, on your phone for an hour.
Exactly.
Not doing shit. Like, you're doing stuff. That's cool. It's fine.
So it's my way to get away. It's my form of meditation. Because people think that meditation has to be like, you sitting in, pretzel style with your fingers up. And it doesn't have to be that. Meditation is just you alone with your thoughts for an extended, or a certain amount of time.
I do the same thing, man. Like, we talk about, I had anger issues when I was growing up. I used to throw shit. I used to try and fight people. And when I started going to the gym, dude, I was just like, I just tried to see how strong I was. And it was my meditation.
Exactly.
It just clears the mind.
It clears my mind.
It helps so much.
It's me alone with the weights. It's me alone with myself and my own thoughts for, an hour and a half. And it helps me, physically I feel good. Mentally I feel better. And I'm just ready to attack the day and do what I have to do after I come from the gym.
Exactly. So, since you used fitness to get over that, how did it feel doing your first bodybuilding show?
It was an experience.
Yeah.
It was a
you
crazy
never
experience.
thought you would do that.
Never thought
where you were, and then you did a bodybuilding show and you killed it, dude.
Never thought I would do that. That was actually, so I got out of treatment in April, and I did my first bodybuilding competition in October. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So that's 6 months in between, which is crazy.
It's crazy.
Which means I started the prep.
Dude.
Like 4 months.
What made you want to do that? Because you're going from one end of the spectrum to
complete
completely
other.
Disciplined on the other side,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, I've been talking about doing one forever, and it's like I can't even do it. I don't have those issues going on with my life.
Yeah.
And it's like I couldn't do it. So what did it take for you to just say fuck it, I'm doing it, and just kill it?
It wasn't even me, to be honest with you. I went to one of Adam and Sean, who are the co-owners of Calhoun Athletic Company. I went to one of their workouts, and I had met Adam for the first time, and I went to a couple workouts. I went to 3 or 4 workouts, and he said, "Listen, man, I think you should think about doing a bodybuilding competition." And I was like, never.
You're like, dude, you know where I'm coming from?
Like, that's a little crazy. I don't know.
Look, I was in rehab a month ago.
I don't even know what that entails. Like, what would I have to do for that? And he was like, you have to do this and that, da 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 da. And I was like, I gave it some thought. I was like, maybe. I gave it some thought. And then I texted him like a week or two later, and I was like, listen, let's sit down and talk about it. We sat down, we talked about it at Panera Bread. And then from there, we did it. So we...
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but like going through a bodybuilding prep for your first time is so hard because
brutal.
You have to be dialing everything you eat.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, like your body, you don't know what your body reacts to differently.
Exactly.
So for you to go from rehab to stage in 6 months is absolutely amazing, dude.
Now,
brutal.
do you think that that whole bodybuilding thing actually helps you more in the recovery aspect?
I think, in a sense, it does, absolutely. So it takes extreme discipline to be able to do a bodybuilding competition because you want something and you can't have it. So, like, you get hungry. When you're hungry, you want to eat. So you can put, like, you come home.
You want them McNuggets.
And, exactly. Yeah. You're hungry.
Damn nuggets.
We gotta talk about it on the show.
You drive past, McDonald's, or you drive past... Not even McDonald's, but something as simple as like, pasta or, something that's not even as bad for you as McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And you can't have it, but you're hungry. So your mind is telling you, your body is telling you to eat, and you're looking at something and you know that you physically can't have. That takes discipline to be able to look at something and want it and be physically.
So how did it go from being like the rehab where you're working to be disciplined, you really weren't because, you kept going back and forth. And now you're like, yo, I'm going to fully commit to this. And it's like, that's
it was tough.
Definitely helped you learn.
Yeah, it was tough, but it was it was definitely, a crazy learning experience, and it was a good experience. It was something I'm glad that I did, and something.
6 months out of rehab, you come in third place in a bodybuilding show.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Pretty good, dude.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Do you think that inspires anyone else now?
Just the aspect of if he can do it, I can do it. If this guy's been through this, if he's been to treatment 9 times, if he's been through everything that he's been through, and he can come out of it and do a bodybuilding competition where he can put himself through that kind of discipline, and I haven't been through half of what he's been through, then I know that I have a good chance at being successful, and I have a good chance at getting clean.
Honestly, I've been talking about doing a bodybuilding show forever. I'm not really a bodybuilding guy. I'm more like a powerlifter type of guy.
Right.
But a lot of people have talked to me about doing that, and seeing you do your first show, I've been thinking about doing one since.
Mm-hmm.
So my first show is going to be because you did one.
Nice.
So just know that not only are you helping people on the streets and helping them get better, but you're also helping people in the fitness world like myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
you're
I'll do
inspiring
one
me
like
to do
probably 2 years after you do your first one.
You still powerlifting show with me.
I'm not gonna do that.
No,
the
seriously,
physique's not there yet.
It's like look at your life where you were 10 years ago and look where you are now. You're inspiring people in all different facets of the world, and it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's touching. I mean, from the first moment I heard about Teach One Feed One, it's just like at first I didn't know what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
Saw you working hand in hand with like you said, Calhoun Athletic Company and everything with the first 5K and all that other fun stuff. And then from there, I was doing more and more research on it. I'm saying, wow, what can we do to actually help out on this?
Yeah, So you said 5K. So why don't you tell people about the 5K and how like you incorporated like Calhoun Athletic Company and the fitness, and you did that to help other people.
Okay, so yeah, it was something that it was all their idea, to be honest with you. They said, listen, we had been working with each other, and little jobs and little odd jobs that we were thinking of and coming up with. And this was at the time that I was training with them for the bodybuilding competition. So at this time, I was seeing them like every day. Like I was at their house or working out with them, one of them every day, mostly Adam, but one of the two of them every day. And it was something that they approached me about one day. They said, hey, we've been thinking about this idea and we really want to run it by you. And I was like, what's that? And they said, we love what you're doing with Teach One Feed One, talking to you every day and, asking you about your goal and your vision, what you eventually want to do with this, what your end goal is. Like we couldn't be more behind you, man. Like we're behind you 1,000%. What we want to do is we want to have a 5K and we want the beneficiaries to be your company. And at first I was like,
it's awesome.
I was like, wow, I was blown away. I was like, listen, first of all, yes, let's do it. And second of all, like, I'm honored, to be completely honest with you. I'm honored that you would even think of me to put me, to think of me to do something like that with you guys. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing all the pictures of people running, donating, and some people you didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, you're bringing in all these people from all over just to help your cause.
Mm-hmm.
And when you grow, it's only gonna get better, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
So now you got a couple corporate sponsors going on.
Mm-hmm.
How's that work out for you? Like, how's it feel getting them big companies to back you up?
It feels good, man. It feels good. So basically, we're just starting out small. The main idea of it is to really just get our name out there and have people know who we are. So people in, like, Raymore and Flanagan is in Jenkintown, Orange Theory is in Bluebell, Sant'Angelo's Cafe is in Norristown, Prime Intensity Training is in Conshohocken, and then Roseanne's Hair Studio is in Phoenixville. People from all over that can just come in, even if they don't donate, even if they don't make a donation, they just see, oh, teach one, feed one. What do? They read the little paper. Our mission is to do this, that. Oh, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? That next time it's supplanted in their mind. So next time they hear about us, hey, I heard about this company, Teach One Feed One. They do. Oh yeah, I seen them in Roseanne's Hair Studio. I know exactly what they do. So that's the main idea behind it. But the secondary idea behind it is, we have two options where right now I give, I approach corporate companies with, and one of the options is they can be a silent contributor, where basically they would just, come up, amongst themselves with an amount of their choosing, which they would want to, commit to a monthly donation. So on the website we have the availability where if you make a donation, you can check a box and it'll make it a monthly donation. So they can just commit to, let's just say it's BKO Fitness. They can commit to a $25 donation a month, and every month it'll just come out $25. Or if they don't want to do that, they can be a contributor where, very similar to Wawa, where you go into Wawa and you see the box, whatever it says, Cancer Society or Boys and Girls Club of America. I don't know what it says in Wawa, but they always have a box right next to the cash register where people can leave donations. We have a box that we give them with a write-up of our mission and our picture, and little things that we offer, where people can read and say, hey, that's cool, my son suffers from addiction, or whatever the case may be, and they can leave a donation there as well. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
making big moves. I like it.
Trying.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The more you get into them, the more you're gonna help more people. Like you said, you don't care about getting popular.
No.
But once you get more popular, you're gonna be able to help more people out. And that's the goal.
Yeah, right. I don't, and anyone who really looks at it that way is, I'm not here to badmouth it. It's just shame on them, to be honest with you, because, we're helping people. So, I don't know how you can look at that in a negative way. Like, we're helping people and we're trying to, ignite, the process of, people believing in themselves once again and restoring their lives.
Yeah.
So,
where do you see the organization going to in like the next 3-4 years?
In the next 3 to 4 years, so,
Like, do you have any like really big goals for it?
I do. So
yeah, you were talking about like your end goal.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your end vision here? Like, what do you want to ultimately grow to?
okay, so among many other things that I want to do, because I've got laws that I want to get passed. I've got things that I want to incorporate in so many different ways. But to stay on track, I would say the end vision would be, I want to eventually be able to supply an outlet to those suffering from addiction or alcoholism, with or without insurance, that can come to us and allow us to get them into treatment. So whatever they are missing, whatever they need, whatever another company or another insurance company won't do for them. So, hey, we can't get you into treatment because you don't have the funding, or we can't get you into treatment because you don't have insurance. We can't get you into treatment because you don't have this or that. Come to us and allow us to figure it out for you, and we'll do whatever we need to do to get you into treatment. Like, we'll make all the necessary calls and all the necessary, give you all the necessary resources to get you into treatment, and have like a building where people can come and have us do that for them. And also provide an outlet for people getting out of treatment to come to us and allow us to give them a better opportunity at staying sober. So when you get out of treatment, it's very similar to jail when you get out of treatment. So
they're kind of like, hey, good luck.
They're kind of like, hey, good luck. You're done. Your
They
treatment.
have no guidance anywhere.
Well, there are some. So there's some like programs. It's called intensive outpatient, which is what you're supposed to do when you get out of treatment. And what that is it's kind of like you're not in rehab anymore, but you still go to group like 3 or 4 times a week for like an hour a day, and it kind of like helps you transition into society a little bit easier. But there's really like no outlets for people who don't have support. So people who have been through a lot and they've been to treatment, there's people who have been to treatment 20, 30 times, and their family has just given up on them because they're just like, listen, You obviously don't want to do better. You're not listening to us. We can't help you anymore. So people in that position are people who need, help. They get out of treatment. They have no, like this most recent time when I got out of treatment, I had no cell phone. I had $0, like my bank account was negative. Like, luckily I had family to support me and help me, get back on my feet. But some people don't have that. Like, they're just like, they have no money, they have no car, they have no phone, they have nothing, and they're just put into society and they're asked to like succeed. And it's like, how do I, like, would you want me to get a job? How am I supposed to get to a job interview? Like, I don't have, you want me to take a bus? I don't have money for the bus. So what am I supposed to do? And then that's when they eventually were just like, well, listen, what am I even doing this for? And they just relapse, they get high, because what's the point of even trying to get clean? I can't get clean. I have no resources to do better. I want to help those people out. Come to us. We'll help you. We'll get you to the job interview. We'll get you home from the job interview. We'll give you some, temporary, funds to get what you need, in the time that you're looking for a job. We'll give you, vouchers or whatever it is to go get a haircut for a job interview. If you need interview attire, we have interview attire here. If you need interview prep classes, like we'll have people at the building that can help you prep for interviews. We'll give you people who have like criminal backgrounds. So most people who are addicts have gotten some kind of charge because they've done something stupid to get drugs. So they've stolen from something, or they've stolen from somebody. They've done something that was really dumb that they know that they shouldn't have done, but they did it anyway because they were going through withdrawal and they needed to get, they needed to get through the day, so they made a mistake. People with criminal backgrounds, like, will have not a course, but kind of like a place where people with criminal backgrounds can come and we can help them, get into the job, the job field again, and help them find jobs that accept criminals and things of that nature. Just to, with the end goal being help people have a better opportunity at staying clean.
I like that, man. That's awesome. Now, like, you can also go to people and they can come to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I actually have seen like a TV show of people doing something like that.
Right.
And it was a TV show, so it means they didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
And for you to actually have the goal to kind of do what other people are doing for money, big money on TV shows, and you're doing it just to actually legit help people, you should be proud of yourself for doing that, man.
Thank you.
You should, because there's so many people out there that are in situations like you and they don't know where to go.
Right.
Now, like, for you to reach out and help them out, it might take a little while, but it's going to change a lot. It's going to help a lot.
I hope so. I really hope so.
And look how far you've come already, and it's only been a short time.
Yeah.
So you keep doing it, and like we always say, it takes time. You got to keep doing it, and if you keep doing it for a good cause, man, like we just talked about before the podcast, you might have people down in Florida come to help you out now.
Exactly.
You can figure out something like that, and just even have that a thought to have that happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool because
Because not only is it in PA, now it's growing like statewide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're eventually just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're helping so many people, and
Right.
like I said, even though you're not helping me and him get over an addiction,
Right.
you're helping me become a better person just from seeing what you're doing.
Right.
That's making me be better.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
so,
Awesome.
You figure for every one negative thing out there, you have 3, 4, maybe even 5 positive things come out.
yeah,
Right.
So, I mean, there's always going to be a naysayer out there, but they don't have the faith, they don't have the ability to figure out what is their next step.
Right.
Because they're still in that dark spot.
Yeah.
You faced your dark space, you got out of it, and now you're trying to get everyone else back on track, which is an amazing process.
Thank you.
you're definitely inspiring, man.
Thank you.
Because, like I said, when I first saw your company, I didn't know it was you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was someone just getting money.
Yeah.
Then once I actually saw who it was you. I knew who you were. I saw what you were actually doing, and immediately changed my perspective on your company because I knew like you mean what you say.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you originally were in the dark spot, you wanted to change. You did it.
Right.
So to see you helping people trying to do the same thing, it's awesome, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank
It
you.
was definitely an honor to have you on here.
Thank you.
Being our first guest, having someone like you who helps people, couldn't have been better.
Definitely is. I mean, I know I speak for myself. I don't know about you, Bob, but down the line, be more than willing to bring him back again to see where
Yeah,
Teach One
absolutely.
Feed One has gone to.
It'd be an honor
Absolutely.
to come back.
And like we talked about before, I'm not corporate, but we want to figure out some ways how BKO can help you out. Because
Okay.
what you're doing is awesome.
Thank you.
Like Adam and them said, I'm 1000% behind you. I'm sure Brian
Same.
is as well.
Let us know if you need anything, and we'll be there.
Awesome.
As I continue to grow, I want to help you grow as well, and I want to support you. So anything we can do to help you out, we're gonna try and do it.
I appreciate that.
So let's help you grow, man. Get more.
Awesome.
Before you leave, let everybody know about your bingo competition you got going on.
Okay, so yeah.
Maybe get some people coming.
So this upcoming Monday, it's going to be at Da Vinci's Pub. It's going to be February 25th. So that is 7 days from now, or 6, whatever math you want to do. It's next Monday at Da Vinci's Pub. We're going to be having a bingo night where people can come out. 217 East Main Street in Collegeville, Pennsylvania, Da Vinci's Pub. From 7 to 9 p.m., people can come out and play bingo with the proceeds going towards Teach One, Feed One, our organization. So once again, that's from 7 to 9 at Da Vinci's Pub in Collegeville, 217 East Main Street, Monday. Come out, play bingo, bring your kids, bring your family, bring whoever you want. If you can't make it, tell someone who can make it. It's for a good cause. You can have fun. We'll be there, and we can answer any questions that you might have. If you want to talk about something, I'll be more than willing to talk to you before, after, or during. And we can play bingo as well. So
Yeah, so like you said, the address is on there for him on Monday. I'm gonna post that to my page as well.
I'll also post it.
You guys
to mine
gotta
as well.
follow him on Instagram. It's Teach One, Feed One. Check out his website at www.teachonefeedone.com. He's gonna have all his information up on there. You guys can also make a donation through him. And the last 2 weeks we were doing a giveaway. Anyone who donated to him through us is gonna get a prize. So I'm gonna announce that right after I release this. So,
Awesome.
check him out. Check us out to see all the information we got from him. And got anything else, bro?
No, that's about it. I mean, guys, support a good cause, and Teach One, Feed One is a good one.
Yeah, like we always say, if you want to see change in the world, you got to start in yourself, and that's what this guy's doing. And
now he's changing the aspect to everyone else.
yeah, so join in, help him out, because not only are you helping him, you're helping us, you're helping our whole society out, and it's going for a good cause. So, like we said again, it's Darnell, Teach One, Feed One. Make sure you guys check him out.
Have a heart, have some passion.
Thanks for having me on.